Hello everyone, the town of Thurgarton. Today we are basically going along the track towards Newark Castle. There is a semi-cemetery seek here today. I looked it up and there is a priory here, St. Peter's Priory. Apparently there was a cemetery nearby on what was called, thanks for that truck, what was called Castle Hill, so they had to move all the bones to the place where we're headed to today. So I thought it would make a really cool place to see, and also in case you're interested in priories, I guess. So I could see it from here actually, so let's make our way there on this beautiful sunny day. Walking, I'll just tell you what train I caught and how to get here. It is the Newark Castle train. It only takes about 20 minutes from Nottingham. The whole area is beautiful, green fields, and it's a sunny day, so why not go on a cemetery seek, eh? I don't think it's going to be much longer than 15-20 minutes walk, but I'll tell you once I've got there. With a bit of history. Oops, I just tripped on something and didn't fall in the road. Hey, I'm okay! Okay, so we are going the right way. There it says St. Peter's Church, and there's a wonderful little sign for Thurgarton, just there. Please excuse all the cars. It's such a busy road with no pavements. It's really impossible to get a good shot of anything. There's no noise. But anyway, just over there is the Hollows, which leads to Priory Road, which obviously the Priory is on. I think we're nearing now. Should be up the top of here. I have mentioned before about please pay attention when you're on these roads. There's no speed limits down here, and they're such narrow, tiny roads. Everybody just speeds so fast everywhere, and they won't even see you coming around a corner. So, and we've made it, boils and ghouls. So through here, I believe we can get in. Oh, please don't tell me it's closed. No, it's okay. It's okay. It was just held on with rope. Oh, I do worry sometimes when I go to places these days and I'm like, oh, I went all this way and it's not even open. Anyway, we got here. Oh, it is a mighty, mighty building. I'll take some more shots when we get closer. So, who would like to know some history? So, the town of Thurgarton is a Grimston hybrid word that suggests a Dane named Thorgeir took over the estate in the 9th, 10th century. So, that's an Old Norse name. Thor standing for thunder, and Geir meaning spear, so that was the old name of the person who used to own this area. Word priory, so in case you didn't know what a priory is a church or a monastery of men and women that are under religious vow. So that was once what this place was used for. The age of everything. Awesome. And around the outside are the gravestones that I mentioned that would have come from either on these grounds itself or Church Hill. Wow, look at those guys at the back there. I think we need to go and look at that in a moment, but first, this incredible building. This is just amazing at the back here. There's a beautiful little house behind, which obviously someone's in, so I won't start yelling about the place, but look at this at the back. These crosses all put in one area. Wow. These little fellas in the corner. Beautiful, beautiful stonework on. With all the curves. So we have a date of 1717 on that one. A couple more leaning along the back here, including a Hannah dun dun. These actually back onto this person's house as well. Wow, that was just completely split in half. Very, very eroded. Not really many names left. All the way up to the end wall. Wow. So in regards to the graves, most of them have been moved against the walls, as you can see, and there's a newer graveyard that was built in the 1950s. I did see that on the way in. And also Just turn my page. This was due to, in 1953, on Castle Hill, as I mentioned, there was a wooden church where there was a lot of bodies that were found in the ground there. There was a church built on top of a church where they actually flattened the top of the ground. So as they were flattening it, they found a lot of different skeletons. So those bones obviously were moved here. I did see on the way in, which we'll go and have a look at now. Most likely were the first ones that were put here. So here we go. So that would have been in the ground at Castle Hill. With once upon a time, somebody's remains in there. So deep breath everyone, are you ready to find out if it's open? I did just see there's some kestrels up there as well, that are nesting. Here goes. So far so good. Gosh darn it. So there actually is 3 numbers to call inside the church in case you want to get in, and the number of this house that's just there was one that I just called, and she was like, I could see you in front of the church, just move over, and I was like waving at her. So her husband's coming over to open it up for me so I can actually take some pictures and film. So
Just a bit awkward.
perfect. Wow.
Now, so you want to take some photos?
Yeah,
Do you want the lights
that's
on or off?
Yeah, if you could turn them on,
Turn
that
them
would be
on,
great.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you very much. So that wonderful guy's just let me come have a look around. He says afterwards, once I'm done, just let him know, he'll go and lock up. So there's a couple of things to note here. I'm going to have a browse around first because the lights are just coming on, and then I'll give you a look at history. Very impressive ceiling, I have to say, but there is an undercroft. I think it's at the back there. Unsure whether we can get to it, but there are quite a few, I don't know if I'm saying this right, misericord seats, which that is a type of seat that flips up and there's a design underneath. So I'm going to check a few of them. I think I can see 2 here. These 3 for sure are. I'm going to lift it. There we go. I do fall back down. I'm very aware that I might break something being left and entrusted to look at things. I can't face onto that one. And amazing. I think there is 2 more in the corner. Everything's so covered in cobwebs. I did have to step over. Excuse me, everyone. Behind this curtain, there's the whole other door. It's giant. What an amazing mechanism. It's really hard to see. Try and get the light to shine on it, but wow. I think I've nosied around here long enough. Here's the organ. I'm gonna go lock up for him, and we'll check out the new graveyard that's over the road. I don't think there was that many graves in there, but it'll be a good way to conclude it, I think. Let's go. And before we leave these gravestones, a couple nice rhymes on the bottom here. Look here and you may plainly see a prospect of mortality, how death stings all, both man and wife, and takes away the mortal life. And this one's even more sad. In perfect health he went from home, not thinking that his course was run. All flowers grow but fade away, more sudden death does life decay. And a last one before we leave here and go on to the new graves. Oft as the bell with solemn toll speaks the departure of a soul, let each one ask himself, am I prepared should I be called to die? So thank you to the wonderful couple that live here who let me look around this amazing building. So immediately across the road we have the newer site. So now, as I enjoy a jolly good sit amongst the newer gravestones, it's been a really rewarding cemetery seek, I have to say. I think the conclusion I can draw is, obviously, places are shut a lot of the time, but if you have the means, then you know that was really helpful, having phone numbers so I could call someone. So if you ever come to St. Peter's in Thurgarton, then there's a strip of numbers on the side of the door saying call in these people. It was the last number that I called that actually did answer, just in case anybody comes and wants to have a look themselves. But from me, it is toodle pip until the next cemetery seek. I'm knocking them out this month with all this good weather, but till next time, bye bye. Treacherous pathways. Just a little conclusion here, actually, as I was walking the public bridleway that comes up behind the grounds of the priory. I believe here behind me is Castle Hill, which was where the original wooden church was, the timber church. You can actually see the ground is really flat behind me, but they did say about there being a stone where the previous graves had been. So I was looking around and there actually is, I believe this is someone's garden now, I'm not going there. Just here, a little area with like a monument stone. And I believe that's what they were talking about. So this hill that's here, priory is literally behind those trees there. So I thought I'd just have that as a conclusion. As always, everything's overgrown and I've been stoned to death by nettles, but it's worth it for history, right guys? See you later.